As many of you know, I'm Dr. Alejandro.
And I'm Dr. Emily.
And we're on a mission to rebuild chiropractic one partnership at a time.
We help chiropractors open practices, revive failing ones, and step into their true calling. This is the Path to Victory podcast. Most leaders assume that their people leave because of money issues. And sometimes this is true, but most of the time, that's not the real reason. There were a lot of data that came out lately that shows that actually most employees don't leave because of salary. They leave because of how they feel when they come to work, when it comes to culture and their experience and the overall quote unquote vibe of the office. I want to connect this with the book of Haggai from the Bible. The prophet Haggai basically tells the Jewish community in Jerusalem, you guys got to stop prioritizing your own homes and your own businesses, and let's get back to building the original vision of God and what he had in store for his people. And he urges them to rebuild the Lord's temple. They're talking about, they're in this kind of famine. They're not having harvest. They're having all these struggles. And Haggai, the prophet, is saying, hey, it's because we've neglected what God initially intended for us. And I want to kind of connect this with business, because when people forget the ultimate, they're a slave to the immediate. And I read this in the Maxwell Leadership Bible too, and it just stuck out with me so much. If we fail to tie our team into our ultimate vision and our mission, they're never going to be on board for the long term. They might stay with you for a year or two, but if we don't remind them of why we started this, why we brought them on as team, why they're super valuable, why they are directly giving in and leading us to this ultimate idea of a vision and a mission, they're not going to be very content at work, and they will leave. And it's not because of money, unlike what you might think. You can pay them more. You can incentivize them with time off. But what leaders have to do is get these people on board with the mission. And this is what Haggai was trying to do in the Bible story in the Old Testament. He's like, guys, you're not bought into the mission. I need you guys bought into the mission. And then we will see our harvests start to produce, and we will stop having all these struggles, and people will stop dying and suffering because we need to get back onto the mission, right? And so entrepreneurs, there's no amount of money that we can make that would make meaningless work feel lighter. Okay, I feel like this is hitting home, hopefully for some staff especially. If they're on an hourly salary and we don't tell them why their work is meaningful, the purpose of why they are logging on to this software and sending this email and stamping files and pulling files and taking notes, if we don't tell them exactly why they're doing that, they're going to think it's meaningless work. And again, there's no amount of money that can make that meaningless work feel any lighter or motivate them to do it. But if they know, hey, I'm stamping this file, I'm writing these notes, I'm sending this email, I'm doing XYZ, I'm cleaning the bathroom, because I know it's tied to the end goal, the end mission, it changes their perspective completely on work. In the Bible, in the book of Haggai, people were working hard, they were producing, but they felt totally empty, they were frustrated, they were dissatisfied with where their lives were at that time. The same thing happens in our businesses. You can pay someone well, but you're starving them of purpose if you're not feeding into them about the mission. Raises won't fix that. Bonuses won't fix that. Benefits, perks, a 401k package is not going to fix that until we tie them into the mission. People want to be part of a long-term mission. It gives them purpose. It makes them feel like they are waking up out of bed every morning early to get to work because they have a greater sense of purpose and they're moving into an ultimate vision down the road. Most people don't want more money, believe it or not, leaders. They want to matter. They want to feel like their work that they're doing matters. So when we acknowledge them, when we trust them with tasks that maybe we didn't feel like we could have before, or maybe we felt like it's a lot on their plate, when we speak to them like they're adults and not children, when we don't try to micromanage them, and most importantly, when we include them in the vision, we're taking them along the ride with us. This is building the culture. This is when people start to buy into your mission, and they will do just about anything for you because you're taking them along with you. Hey, here's an example for Victory. This is where I see Victory going. We're going to get to X amount of revenue. We're going to build 300 clinics in Victory's lifetime, and you're coming along with that. You're a part of that. You are directly supporting the mission of changing families in each community that these 300 clinics are part of. Who doesn't want to be part of that? I want to change the health of America. I want to change the health of all these communities. I want to change the health of a world. I want to be part of that mission. And so I'm going to do anything I can to get on board with that. This is just about leadership maturity, right? Culture isn't getting a ping pong table in the break room or taking your team out to lunch just because. It's how you treat them when they mess up, how you treat them when you're overwhelmed or when you're inconvenienced, and you show them what you're learning in real time. And I think that's super important. As we learn as leaders, we have to pour into our team and allow them to grow with us. I always tell my team, if you guys leave here and you go on to do something else, I only pray and I wish for the best that you can for your future. I want what's best for you, but I hope during your time here that I can pour into you, that I can help develop you and develop your character into someone better than you ever expected that you would have been when you were here. And I know you thought you were just signing up for an hourly job, but you are part of this mission. You are part of this team, and I'm going to pour into you as much as I do into our patients and love on them and care for them because I want what's best for you. And I really think that that helps build up a culture of, man, they don't just want me as an hourly employee. I'm not just here to stamp or to staple or to print things or to send emails or to pay bills. Like, I am part of this mission and they genuinely care about me. The idea of this vision, it creates loyalty that money cannot buy. I cannot pay somebody enough money to be loyal to me until I bring them into the mission, until they are part of it. When people believe in what they're building, they will stay through seasons where the money isn't perfect. Maybe your collections are down and their bonuses are based on collections, and that means they're getting paid less too. Why would staff stay during that if you're paying them less? It's because they believe in what you're building. Yes, this is a down month. It's a down month for the employees, for the business owners, for everybody, whatever. But I'm staying because I know that what we're building is not about the money. It's not about whatever. It's about legacy. It's about impact. And I want to stay on board with that. People don't quit missions that they believe in, right? If they believe wholeheartedly in something, they're not going to quit. They will quit because the leaders stop reminding them why it matters. And I want to bring this into something practical. We can't just tell people the vision one time. Actually, we know this, that studies show it takes 7 times to hear something until you actually absorb it. You can start to ingrain it in yourself until you start to believe it. So don't just tell your team your vision and your mission one time and expect them to be fully on board. We bring it up at every single weekly meeting. We make sure it's at our quarterly meeting. We make sure it's at our annual meeting. We make sure that people never forget why they're coming to work, because if they do, that's why people stop coming. That's why people will quit. And then the ultimate vision, when leaders consistently connect the daily work to that ultimate vision, here's why you're seeing this patient. Here's why you're scanning. Here's why you're cleaning the toilets. Here's why you're stocking the paper in the printer. When we tie that to the ultimate mission, people don't feel like they're slaves to that immediate job, to the day-to-day. They feel like they're contributing to something bigger down the line. And that's how we get a stronger culture. That's how we reduce turnover. And that's when teams take ownership and full accountability of, man, I really dropped the ball on that. And I know that this can impact us down the future. So I want to ask you directly, when somebody leaves your company, when you have staff turnover, do you immediately assume it was about money? Or are you willing to ask if, like an exit interview, if they felt seen, if they felt valued, if they felt connected to the mission? If somebody quits on you, are you willing to sit down and say, what could I have done better? Is it because you didn't truly feel bought into the mission? And if that's the case, then it's actually the leader's responsibility and it's not about the employee at all. People will tolerate lower pay for great culture. They will not tolerate great pay for poor leadership. So I know this is about, getting your team to buy in, connecting them to the bigger mission, but ultimately it's about you. We have to become better leaders so we can lead our team better, get them bought into the mission, and change lives altogether. Hope this helps you guys. Would love to connect more. See us on paththovictorychiro.com or connect with us on social media. Thank you guys. Have a great day.